Hi everyone, good morning. It's Margaret Manning here and welcome to 60 and Me. Hope you're doing great this morning, had a wonderful sleep and you're waking up to a beautiful day and that you're feeling good about yourself. You're feeling good about what's ahead this day and you've got some fun things planned. I'm having my cup of tea this morning. I've got my green tea, jasmine, and which as you know I love. And I hope you've got a cup of tea or coffee and settling down. Have a nice chat here about something that I think is really important to us as we get a little older. And that's the whole topic about friendship. You know, I know a lot of you are going through a period right now where you're feeling that you're missing out on friendships. A lot of, we've talked about this before, that when we're younger, we have very contextual friendships. You know, we have friends who are related to our kids, we get together with other moms and parents. We have friends at work who are our colleagues and friendships develop there where we spend time together. And we have a common bond, you have something that you have to discuss. And then things happen as you get older. Your friends move out of town, they have their own lives. Your children now are getting on with their own careers and their lives. And you find yourself looking for friendship with a different lens. And it can sometimes be a little challenging because if your whole life has been wound up with your family and your work, you find yourself in your 60s thinking, my gosh, like, who are my friends? Who am I even looking for as a friend? And what qualities am I looking for in that person? So the truth is that having an active social life is really good for our health. It's great, well, just mentally, physically, on all levels, to have people that care about you and that ask you questions, like beyond how are you doing. They care about what you're doing with your life and what you're thinking about. So it's important to have those intimate friendships. And so I have a couple of ideas. I've got, in fact, 4 ideas here, like simple steps for making new friends in your 60s and 70s and older. And hopefully it will give you some help, some guidance, because I face this too. I've now moved to a place where I don't have new friends, and so I've had to come up with some clever ideas for finding those people. So here's a few steps that you can follow. Now, the first thing is to know yourself. Now, seems like an obvious thing to say, doesn't it? But when you have friends as a younger person, your definition of who you are, as I said earlier, is more defined by contextual relationships. Now, you've had 60 years of experience in life. You've developed things that you love to do and things that you're not so keen on, and you've got this opportunity to sit down and make an assessment of what's important to you. Who are you? Of all the things that you could be doing in your spare time, what do you love? Do you love to travel? Do you love to cook? Do you love to go walking, get out in nature? Are you a dancer? Do you like to do things are more physical? What are the things that you are passionate about? A lot of times people say things like, oh, you want to make new friends? Well, just go out, go dancing, go to the movies, go to this club. But that's their thing. That's what they're doing. And I think that's important to remember, is that that's what they would do to make friends because they like dancing or going to the movies. You have to think about who you are. So I think that, reconnecting with yourself is kind of the first prerequisite to finding friendships in your 60s. So, I do this, a lot too, because I still work, of course. I do my 60andMe work that takes up a good part of my day every day. So that to me, you're my friends. You're my virtual friends. But many times I just want to hug. I just want to get together with someone for a coffee and just sort of, just get to know them, talk about what things that are going on in my mind, and just to have that connection. So getting to know yourself, though, is the first thing to do. Getting out there. Don't force yourself to get out there until you've actually thought about who you are and what you enjoy. It's really important. So the second thing is develop your physical and emotional resources. Now, we've talked a lot about this before and about the importance of being strong and just focusing on healthy aging. I know from our conversations that a lot of you are really into some fun things. You do bike riding, all kinds of exercise, dancing, you go for long hikes. A lot of you are doing fairly dramatic things. I mean, sort of, things that yoga, well, you're doing yoga, Pilates, all kinds of things. And, so I think it's important that you make that a priority, because when you get all those hormones and energy going in your body, you feel like going out. You feel like getting out after dinner in the evening and going to a movie or going to a meeting. And if you're tired and feeling low energy, you're not going to want to do that. You're not going to want to get out. So I think being fit and trying to exercise is as a priority in your 60s is all part of making friends, because it will give you the energy and the passion and the determination to make it a priority in your life. So I think that's really important. You can go to the local gym to work out, and then there's also things going on there. There's activities, meetings, workshops, and that in itself is an opportunity. So wherever you live, you're going to find something that's going to be able to stimulate your interest and just get you moving, get physical. Another thing is to chase your passions, not people. To not go out there looking for people. A lot of people join clubs and, just random things that they think there's going to be lots of people there. They go out to picnics and group meetings, and then they find themselves not with people that they particularly have anything in common with. And that is super important, is to actually, follow your passions, do what you love, and not worry so much about people. Now, I for example, I love to go to the library. We have a really nice library here in town, and most cities have got a nice space for reading. I know a lot of you like reading, so it's a priority for many of you, and certainly for me. So I go to the library and I just sit in the magazine section. Sometimes I start a conversation with someone, or they'll say something to me. And you just know, at least I do, that the people I meet there are going to be people who like to learn. They've got a curious mind. They maybe have a more quiet and passive lifestyle, than they don't go, water skiing on their days off. I mean, they're just I don't know, quieter people, because I'm a quiet person really by nature. So to me, the library is a great place. I've met some really nice people there. The other place I go a lot is I go to the park and I walk, as I said earlier, because I love animals, and there's lots of people with dogs and walking, and I just always have a little chat, compliment them on something. And the other day I was walking down by the lake, and it was kind of cold, and I was all bundled up, and these three guys were running the other direction, just running, jogging, and they had little shorts on, and they were not cold at all. And as they went by, they stopped and sort of nodded, and I said, "You guys are crazy." And they stopped and they said, "What do you mean crazy?" And I said, "No, we just had a little chat." But it was just that I didn't particularly go looking for people. I went looking for something that I enjoyed doing. Excuse the siren there. Wow, very rarely hear those, at least going on for that long. And anyway, I went there because I like walking by the lake, and I just happened to bump into people who also like walking by the lake. So it was just a fun thing to do. So chase your passions, not people. Another thing is to be proactive and invite people into your life. And I know that this can be challenging if you're not feeling terribly confident, but the thing is, people are out there doing things. There's meetup groups are one of my favorites. I've mentioned these before a couple of times, but in case you're not familiar, meetup.com is a website where you can go online and go by the city or town that you live in, and look for meetings that people have set up. And they can be anything as simple as a book club, or maybe it's going to the movies once a month, or going to a particular restaurant, like have a certain interest in food, photography. Maybe it's something like learning a language, like French or German. And there's a whole spectrum of meetups. And usually there's maybe 10 or 15 people in a meetup. They change, people come and go, so it's quite interesting to meet new people if you go every week. And also, I started a meetup here in Switzerland because I found there were lots of meetups, but for younger people, like designed for your people that just had different interests. Now, I love mixing up the ages. Believe me, I love doing stuff with young people, but sometimes for a meetup, you might want to do something where the conversation is just a little bit more aligned to your life experience. So the meetup I started was for people over 50, men or women, who love trains. So it's a train lover meetup. And I have like 20 people now in this group. It's very rare that we have more than 7 or 8 at one time because people are, traveling and on trains somewhere doing other things. But we've had so much fun. We've had about 4 trips now, and I'm actually with some of the people meeting, just for coffee. Just the other day, I just got together with one of the women, and we just had a coffee and a conversation about stuff. And by the time you've been on a train with somebody for 3 or 4 hours, you kind of know each other. So we knew each other, and it was nice conversation. So meetups, one idea. And you can just meet all kinds of people, hundreds of people, doing things that you love to do. And if you don't have a meetup, just start one. And if you don't have the infrastructure for meetups in your city, then there's community groups and other church groups that you can join. And just do it, again, like the people that you know are going to be doing stuff that you like. And be proactive. You have to overcome your fears a little bit. And once you get to know people, you can then invite them to come to your home and maybe have a drink or a cup of tea. And I was thinking the other day about they have, in the olden days, we used to have what we called salons. And where you basically get 4 or 5, 6 people with different interests together and talk about a topic that you share. So there may be different interests in the people, but they share a common vision or goal. And TED.com is a great, they do these salons in different cities. So you always look out for TED events, because those are fun things where people go and meet in a facility, like sometimes it's a community center or a theater. But you can also do little Sunday afternoon meetings in your home. Have a cup of tea, or go to a park, or if you want to meet in a cafe, just ask people and just find people that ask if they've got friends, and just get together, invite them into your home. Hey, all that can happen is you're just going to miss a Sunday afternoon, and you'll learn something about yourself. But I think it's important to have that kind of lens of opening yourself, being ready for the unexpected and for wonderful things to happen. So those are 4 ideas. I hope that's been helpful and that giving you some inspiration to, learn to understand yourself, get out there and be physical, but get strong so you can go out and do some things with other people. Pursue your passions, not pursuing people, and then opening yourself up to the world, trying new things. I think those hopefully will give you some guidance, and I'd love to know what you've tried. I mean, if you found a way to make new friends and you've got some ideas of how other people might take advantage of your knowledge and wisdom, leave the comments in the section below. And then we can just have a conversation, and I'll join in too. And having friends is so important. I've gotten several emails recently about people feeling a bit lonely, and I just want to do anything I can to help you find friends. And maybe those 4 ideas have been some inspiration. Anyway, I do hope that you're well, that you're out there getting together with some friends perhaps today. But doing whatever you do, just enjoy it, and take care of yourselves. And tell me what you think are the secrets to making friendships as you get a little older. What do you think are the secrets to making friends as you get older? Look forward to your comments and to the conversation. I'll jump in too and join you, and let's just all share each other's words of wisdom. And I look forward to seeing you all back here again really soon. Take good care, everybody. Bye-bye for now.